Back again.
Next.
Oh my God!
911 emergency.
Oh, this is Dallas. I've been shot.
How are we doing? Are we about ready to open?
Yeah, go ahead. Try to keep an eye on it.
On June 28, 1993, 22-year-old Candace Crossland was the manager on duty at a fast food restaurant in Mesa, Arizona, as they were opening up around 6 a.m. Annette Pfeiffer was also on the early shift that morning.
Candace was so young and vibrant. She worked with kids in gang prevention. She taught Sunday school, and she had all these goals for herself. It was just really weird when it happened.
Place that has free lessons. So I got out there, of course, and meet any guys.
So your vacation's coming tomorrow, and you're going to go?
Don't let me forget, I'll give you $1, and you can put it on 13 reds.
Who's in charge here?
We thought he was the air conditioner repairman. We were waiting for somebody to come and fix it.
Oh my God, he's
Take her where she is now.
Oh no. My God, can't. We're being robbed.
The only thing he said in front of us again was, "You come on," towards Candace. He had the gun, "You come on." And then he says, "You two stay here."
Can you see anything?
Queen and I were holding hands and praying, and then we started to talk about, God, he won't shoot Candace. He won't shoot Candace. She's just going to take the money and go.
Come on.
Oh my God.
911 emergency.
Oh, this is Dallas. I've been shot. 911.
Yes.
She's been shot. This is...
Mesa Police Dispatcher Chris Muma was handling the call.
She's been shot.
We just got robbed.
You just got robbed?
Usually it's 6 o'clock in the morning. It's a medical call, but not a violent shooting and robbery like that. This one kind of caught me off guard.
Okay. Ma'am, we're on our way. You need to stay on the phone with me, okay?
Rescue units were immediately dispatched to the scene, including Mesa Fire Department paramedic Kevin Mashu.
You get a lot of the same calls and you don't remember them, but this one was affecting me a little more because I had been in the restaurant business and I had actually been held at gunpoint in a robbery.
She breathing?
Yes, she's really bleeding bad.
What you need to do is kind of apply some pressure to it to stop.
It was hard when I saw the blood. It was on the floor, and it was just like a puddle. It was deep, and it was a lot.
We were in the back, and he had a gun on us.
Okay, and what did he say?
He told us to go into the walk-in and told our supervisor to come out and open the safe. And he told us to stay in the walk-in. We heard a gunshot, and she got shot.
Okay, everything's gonna be okay. You're doing real good, all right? They're on their way. They're gonna be there in just a minute. We've got paramedics on the way to help her, okay? Do you hear a car leave at all?
We didn't hear anything except the shot.
Just a shot?
Yeah.
Okay, is she still conscious and talking to you?
Throwing up blood. You
Okay.
want her to sit down or anything?
Yeah, just sit her down against the wall.
Employee Queena Curtis had taken over the call.
Told me to have her sit down, but Candace didn't want to sit down. She just kept throwing up blood.
And put the towel up to her neck. Press kind of hard to try to stop the bleeding, okay? All right, everything's gonna be okay.
Are you almost here?
Yes, there's 2 officers there. Paramedics are gonna be there in just a minute, okay? You just need to stay on the phone with me. All right? What's your name, ma'am?
My name's Queena.
I'm sorry?
Queena.
Queena?
The officers are here.
Okay, are the officers inside with you?
Okay, we're here.
All right.
He had dark hair
She's been shot
and brown eyes.
back of the neck. I was impressed just with the fact that this patient had been shot in the head and was still conscious. And she did have a severe shot. It wasn't like it was a glancing blow. It passed right through her skull.
Looks like we got a bullet lodged in her jaw here. You know where you're at right now, Candace?
Yeah, I'm at work.
The first police officer on the scene was Bon Gonzalez.
Had you ever seen him before, Candace?
I worked with him a year ago.
She knew who he was. They had worked for the same restaurant in the past.
Set up a crime scene log and evidence.
Within like 5 minutes to 10 minutes after this happened, we were sending officers to his past addresses.
120. Keep spitting that blood out, Candace.
It was obvious that she hit a large artery or vein, and I was concerned that her airway was going to be compromised. So what I opted to do was just get her down on the ground on all fours.
Candace's mother, Gloria Crossland, heard about the shooting on her police scanner.
They wouldn't tell me who was shot, so I sneaked around to the front window and found out it was Candace. I mean, I was petrified.
It was horrible, you know, because here's this 20-some-year-old who's doing all these things to better her community and, you know, working a terrible job, making terrible wages, no insurance, no benefits. And something like this happens. This jerk. I think he got, you know, $1,500 or some measly sum like that. You know, what's the point?
I had seen the blood and her on the stretcher. And I thought, oh my God. She was born 6 months after her father died. And it's just one of those things. You're close that way.
22-year-old Candace Crossland was taken by Samaritan Air Evac helicopter to Scottsdale Memorial Hospital and examined by emergency physician Pierre Gilles.
The bullet traversed across to the right side of her neck, close to her windpipe. She was fortunate that the initial effect of the gunshot wound did not kill her.
Okay, that's good.
She was equally fortunate that the swelling effects and the blast effects also did not leave her with any permanent neurologic injury.
Doctors spent hours in surgery repairing her damaged carotid artery. After 4 days, Candace was released from the hospital. More than a year has passed since the shooting.
The bullet is under the fatty tissue, under my chin. And it just sits there, it doesn't move, just sits there. It's kind of hard, feels like a pee.
You're out, give me the ball. You're out, give me the ball.
I'm a little more paranoid, but I still work in prevention, at-risk kids, because I don't think that it's fair to them to take away what they need from me.
She still works at the restaurant, and she's going to college next semester. She wants to be a teacher on the reservation, so she's going on the way it was.
The suspect was subsequently convicted of armed robbery and attempted second-degree murder and sentenced to 29 years in prison.
If he's in his late 50s, by the time he gets out, that's justice for me, because I'll be in my late 50s too, and hopefully a little bit forget about this by the time I'm 50.
I asked her, you want to come and help me put wallpaper?
Yeah,
She goes, no, I get my house in 2 weeks.
If she hadn't made it through this ordeal, I'd have been devastated. They'd have probably taken me to Arizona State Hospital.
If it hadn't been for 911, she would have died because they were there that quick. They saved her, they put her on a helicopter, they took her where she needed to go, and it was still touchy after that. But she made it because it was Candace. The fact that she had the strength to go and call 911 herself, this hole in her neck, bullet in her face, was just unreal to me. Definitely a hero. Definitely. Without a doubt.
Next, when we start